So I'm digging up, this is evening primrose. I dug up this one already. That's a good one.
Right there.
This one. You can see what it looks like. It's like a little...
That's the flowerette kind of thing.
Oopsie.
Yeah. Has long roots, huh?
Yeah, so tell the story about what happened with the bird.
With the bird? Oh, the falcon hawk thing?
Yeah.
Well, I heard a flutter, and I looked over in the vegetable garden, and it had caught some kind of a regular, songbird, maybe a robin. It's a pretty big bird that it had in its talons. And as I walked over, it just took off with the bird in its talons. I don't think I was going to be able to stop it. And, now there's a pile of feathers in the little garden path over there in the vegetable garden.
Okay, so just going to quickly show what's going on here. This, come closer. This is the evening primrose. I'm going to dig that up. This is actually chamomile. Motion stop. Mo, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Good boy. This is chamomile. This is evening primrose. This is actually yarrow. This is a really pretty flower.
And while you're at it, what's this guy here?
That's lady's mantle.
Lady's mantle, right.
But so I was just going to say, this is the time of year right now to weed, because if I pull up all the grass and this is, I forget what this is called, this is that, buttercup or whatever it's nothing I use. This is a grass where if you're really hungry and you're really starving, right? This is, what is this called?
Quackgrass.
Huh?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what kind of grass this is called.
Crabgrass to me. Quackgrass? I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it has these long runners. But you actually can, starvation diet. There's some nutrition in the stem. You can gnaw on it. I actually sometimes do like to.
That's a pretty fat-looking little root stem there.
I forget what I want to call it. I want to say dogweed or duckweed or I don't know.
Yeah,
you can wash it off and chew on it. It's actually pretty tasty. It's not bad, but it's not like this is actual. You can cook this into a soup. What did I do with the other one? Here it is. Yeah, this is the evening primrose, and it's got a nice big root. But I would say, like, if I was making a chicken soup, that's all you need for the whole pot of chicken soup. Especially if you're not used to eating wild food, maybe just start with a small one in a big pot of soup, like a small amount. All parts, though, every single part of it, except the dirt. Except the dirt is all edible. You can wash it off good, and I probably would take off these little teeny stems, but the thing of it is it's wild food, and wild food is stronger than domesticated food. And so if you're not used to eating it, it can give you diarrhea. It can give you a little tummy ache just because it's it's not what your body is used to. And it's a little bit slimy. Like if you were to cook this just in a pot all by itself, it's a little bit slimy. And I forget what that slime is called, but that slime, like it's also in, what's that slimy vegetable?
Okra.
Okra, right. It's also in okra. It's also in...
I wish you weren't telling me about the slime because I didn't notice it at all.
Right, in a soup you won't notice it at all.
And that soup was delicious.
Right, you put it in a soup or you put it in a chili or something like that, you won't notice. But
I didn't get sick at all. Didn't even notice it was there. It tasted great.
Right, I didn't overwhelm us. I'm just saying, like, if you were to go, oh, vegetable, I think I'll have, put a full quarter of my plate with this, then it's gonna be too much. But if you put
some of it in soup.
We're more used to eating wild foods anyway. You put them in your soup or you have this is enough to serve 6.
Mm-hmm.
And, but anyway, now I forget what you said, what I was talking about.
Well, food.
So it's nice. So you want to definitely weed now, because if you let these things go, whatever they are, it's going to get much harder. Like in this lady's mantle here. The lady's mantle is a nice tea. And I mostly use lady's mantle really for wreaths and for garden flowers. When I was selling organic cut flowers, the lady's mantle was my biggest seller, believe it or not. And it grows like a weed. So and it's easy to propagate. So I divide it and I spread it all over the garden. People, I guess florists use it as filler, but I use it more in wreaths. So I have been spreading it. I've been spreading all these flowers just because that's my back pocket. I may end up selling organic cut flowers here or whatever. But I certainly love living with them, so I always try to justify it.
I do
so
this
is the time of year to weed. And as I say, as you're weeding, you can go ahead and harvest these things. But do it now, because every little day that you spend weeding now saves you a headache later in the summer. Later on in the summer, there's a certain point where I just give up and I just go, now you guys can duke it out. May the survival of the fittest. But at this time of year, I really make the choices that I want the flowers. I have to just play God with the evening primrose. I probably will dig it up here, but there's areas where I leave, big patches of evening primrose. This is called Indian paintbrush. I do leave weeds on purpose for the so that the bees and all the different types of bees have things. Even if I'm not eating them, they promote beneficial insects, and also
I don't know how long you want to make this video, but you can talk about what's planted up here and the plan for those.
Well, I could share just real quickly my concern about the asparagus. That the asparagus, and maybe somebody else can tell me, but when I'm pulling up the asparagus stems from last year, well, these ones, there's like a little bit of rot at the bottom, and I'm like, uh-oh, that's not a good sign. But the roots, when I dig down to the roots, it seems like the roots, I'm not pulling up the roots right now, but it seems like the roots are okay. But so what I'm going to do for the asparagus was super duper productive last year, and I guess asparagus does eventually always get diseases. First, I'm planting parsley in among the asparagus.
So seed,
just in case that works some sort of magic. I soaked the parsley seed, and I'm going to plant it in among. I also see I'm going to keep the chamomile because I have been making tea, homegrown tea, and there's lots of chamomile growing in here, and that's very, very pretty, and it's just the best tea. So I'm going to keep that. But I'm going to try planting parsley in around the asparagus, and then I'm going to go get some seaweed and cover the whole thing with seaweed, because seaweed is supposed to be really good for asparagus. And then, whatever, we'll see. I've planted parsley in several different places because it takes a little while for it to bloom, for it to sprout, and it may or may not work, and I may be just throwing away the seeds right now. I'm just tired of the parsley seeds. We've got it planted in so many different places. But maybe it will like it here, so I do gamble with seeds. Do you?
Yeah, good idea. I know. I have all these old. I'm more conservative. I want to save everything, but
it's time to move.
When they get old,
these
they need to go.
Seeds. It's time to move out the old seeds and either plant them, or they can't live forever in our drawer. It's time to get these old seeds planted.
So true. So true.
Okay, that's all.
Bye.
Bye.